Hiya, welcome to In the Kitchen with Tabby. I'm so glad you're here with me today. We've got a busy day in the kitchen today. I've got some friends coming over for supper tonight, so working on making some dessert right now. I'm gonna make that chicken pot pie that I posted a few days ago. I may shoot a little bit of a video on that because I know when I posted that, I didn't post a video with it. So I may shoot a little bit of a video with that later on to show you exactly how that goes together. But right now we're gonna work on the dessert. So it's a 5-ingredient dessert. Seems like it's pretty simple. It's the first time I've made it, so we're gonna see. 6 ingredients if you count the garnish that's gonna go on top, but technically just 5 ingredients. So let's get to it. Let's show you what we're gonna be using. I don't have a cameraman today, so I'm on my own, but so let's see. So we've got some frozen strawberries. I am gonna put in 5 fresh strawberries just to kind of punch up the flavor a little bit. We've got 2 tablespoons of cornstarch here. This is a 1/3 cup of sugar. I use organic sugar, so it's not white. It's kind of a little bit of a brownish color. And then we've got 1 egg yolk. This is my secret ingredient, guys. I'll tell you about that in just a second though. 1 cup of whipping cream, heavy whipping cream, okay? So secret ingredient on the egg yolk. I have found over the years making cream puddings and custards and like coconut cream pie and things like that, the best egg yolk, because most of those are going to call for an egg yolk, the best egg yolk to use is a duck egg. It's rich, it's thick, and it's going to make that cream and that custard and that pudding just so much nicer and richer and creamier. You're just going to love it. So if you can get your hands on a duck egg, use a duck egg. If not, just a regular egg yolk will be fine. So let's get to it. Here we go. We are going to take I'm going to point my camera down just a little bit here. There we go. There's my food processor. I think I've told you guys about this food processor. I really like it a lot. I don't know if that's crooked or not, guys. I think it might be just a little bit crooked, but that's okay. So we're gonna take that food processor and we're gonna drop those strawberries in. And then we're gonna do, it calls for about 1 cup of strawberries, so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. Since I put those 5 fresh strawberries in there, I think let's go 1 more, 2, 3 more. All right, so we're going to process those strawberries up. And I'm gonna put it on puree. You've got chop and puree on this little KitchenAid food processor, but I love it. So I'm gonna put it on puree and I'm going to pause it so you don't have to listen to this noise, and I'll come back whenever I have it all pureed. All right, we're back. So I've got those all pureed up. So I'm going to take those now. And just a little tip, I did not have mine completely thawed, my frozen strawberries. So just note to self next time, make sure that those strawberries are pretty much thawed out because you want that juice. I actually added about a teaspoon of water to this because they were a little too dry when I was chopping them up. So you want to just make sure that they have some of that moisture from the frozen strawberries being thawed out. So I'm going to put that right in my pan, and I'm going to adjust that camera here in just a second so that you can see a little bit better what's going on in here. Again, using my little silicone spoon that my friend Linda sent me. Love these little spoons and spatulas and my little whisk, silicone whisk. All right, so I've got that in there. So I'm going to adjust my camera down just a little bit so that you can see better what's going on in the pan. There we go, I think that'll work. Yeah, so you can see how nice and smooth that is. Yeah, it smells really good already. All right, so to this strawberry puree, I'm gonna call it, we are going to add the sugar. Mix that around in there a little bit just to kind of get it mixed up and get that sugar dissolved a little bit. We're going to switch to a whisk here in just a second. All right, so got that in there, and then we're going to take our cornstarch. We're going to put that cornstarch in there. I don't know if you know this, but if you're using cornstarch to thicken something, you should never use a hot liquid to mix the cornstarch in. If you use a hot liquid, it will not dissolve in the hot liquid for some reason. I don't know why that is. Science is science, but it will not. So it looks like my camera's a little bit crooked. Sorry, guys. But anyway, yeah, so you want to make sure if you're mixing cornstarch in, you want to mix it in while the liquid is cool or cold, and then you can heat it up and then it will serve its purpose. And anyway, as I was saying, once you put your cornstarch in there and get it all mixed up and dissolved in your liquid, then when you heat the liquid up, then it is going to do what it's supposed to do and get that pudding or sauce or gravy or whatever it is you're making. That will make it thicken up afterwards. But you always want to make sure you mix your cornstarch in a cold liquid or a cool, at least cool. You just don't want it to be hot. All right, in goes the egg yolk. Nothing fancy there. So we're going to put that in, and I'm going to go ahead and switch to my whisk so that I can break that egg yolk up in here. Get that cornstarch off of there too. All right. If you use duck eggs in your recipes, let me know in the comments. I'd like to know what else you would use duck eggs for. We don't really like to use them to eat for scrambled eggs and things. They're a little too rich for that, but like I said, they're perfect when you're doing something like this. So, okay, so we have the strawberries, the sugar, the cornstarch, and the egg yolk in. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and turn my stove on. And I'm going to put this on about 6, so it's about medium, a little bit over medium. And we're going to cook this, and I'm going to cook it and stir it until it comes to a nice boil, like a, not a rolling boil, but you want a really good high simmer, close to a rolling boil. And you're going to see when I show you, when I get to that point, I'm going to stop the video so you don't have to sit here and watch me stir this. But I'll let you know how long it takes, and I'll show you what it looks like, because it's going to get super thick and almost... in the video that I watched, it almost looked like it was gummy. I'm not sure if that's technically the word you would use for cooking, but that's kind of what it looked like. So I'm just going to sit here and stir this. We have to stir it continuously while it's cooking. You don't want to stop stirring it. And so I'm going to do that. And then, like I said, when I get to the point where I'm ready to take it to the next step, I will come back on and I'll show you what we're going to do. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I'm going to show you real quick. My mixture has thickened up really nicely, and if I stop stirring, you can kind of see, can you see that, how it's kind of coming to a nice boil? That's what you're looking for right there. And you can see it's a pretty thick consistency, and as it cools, it's only going to get thicker. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off of the stove, turn it off. I did turn my heat down. We started out at 6, but it looked like it was maybe getting a little too hot too quick. So I did turn my heat down just a little bit. I'm on about four, I almost said 4 o'clock. I'm on about 4, and then I bumped it down to 3.5, and that's kind of where I let it sit until it was ready. And it really didn't take very long. I think it was maybe 7 or 8 minutes. It was pretty quick. It didn't take too long at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it off of the heat. I'm gonna get myself my little, guess what, silicone spatula. And I'm gonna tap this, get everything off that whisk that I can. You don't wanna leave any of that goodness on there. All right, so I'm going to take that. So all I'm going to do now, I'm going to point my camera down, and I know that it is a little bit crooked, and I apologize. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing wrong, but you can see my bowl there. Let's see if I can, yeah, there we go. I'm going to try to do this left-handed so you guys can see. So I've got a little bowl here, and I'm going to scrape all of this out into the bowl. And when we get that scraped out, almost there, a little bit slower because I'm right-handed. I'm doing this with my left hand. My mother-in-law was left-handed. Let me know if you're right-handed or left-handed, and if you have any issues. My son, my youngest son, is left-handed, but he's kind of ambidextrous. He can kind of do stuff with both hands, really. When he played ball, he hit the ball with his right hand, and but he writes with his left hand. So anyway, all right, so let's get that off of there. You worked hard for it. You don't want to leave any of it on the spatula or knife. So you can see how it's already starting to get really, see that thick kind of gummy, a little bit gummy. All right, so now we've got it in the bowl. So I'm going to take a piece of plastic wrap here, just a small piece. We're going to take that plastic wrap and we're going to go right down, all the way down on top of that mixture. Pat it all the way down. You want it to kind of, what it's doing, that plastic wrap is forming the skin on top. So you know when you make a pudding, sometimes it has that skin on top. That's kind of just its way of protecting itself. So we're gonna help it out there so that it doesn't create that skin. So you can kind of see I've put it all the way down on top. Okay, so we're gonna put that in the refrigerator now and let that cool. And when it's completely cool and ready for the next step, I will hop back on and whip up the whipped cream, and then we'll go from there. And I am using an apron today. I'm not much of an apron person normally, but I'm wearing kind of a white shirt, and I thought I'm working with strawberries. I didn't want to take any chances. So I went ahead and put on an apron. This apron is actually very special to me because my sister, who I told you about the other day, Terry, my oldest sister who has passed, she won this apron at one of the bridal showers that I threw for my two sons when they got married. And she wasn't much of a baker or cook, and she really didn't like aprons, so she let me have it. So I treasure this apron. I keep it hanging here in the kitchen always. And just so you know, when I start my videos, I always say hiya, and that is just in memory of her. When our nieces and nephews were young, when she would come into the room, she would say hiya. And so all of the nieces and nephews always called her Hiya. I don't actually, even as an adult, all of us, we always called her Hiya. Nobody ever called her by her name, Terry. So when I say Hiya, that's just in memory of my sister who I loved. And yeah, she was great. She was my oldest sister, so she was kind of like a mom too. She kind of grew up with all of us and helped raise us. So I appreciate her, and I love her and miss her. So anyway, okay, I will be back when this is ready to blend into the whipped cream, and we'll do the whipped cream together too. So I'll see you in a little bit. Hey, real quick, just wanted you to see, I went ahead and took, while that's cooling and getting cold and chilling in the refrigerator, I went ahead and grated up some chocolate. Just took a dark chocolate bar that I had, just a nice quality dark chocolate. I think it had a little raspberry flavor in it. I thought that might be good. So that's my chocolate shavings that I'm gonna put on the top. And then I'm gonna aim my camera down here so you can see my little strawberry. I'm gonna try something. I've never done this before, but I heard that you could make these into hearts. So I'm gonna take the cap of the strawberry. I wanna try to keep that rounded part up there as much as you can. And you just kind of go down and then come up on the other side. I hope you can see it okay, what I'm doing. Pull that and just kind of come down again to the center, and that'll pop out. And when you cut into it, it makes it a little heart. So then I can slice this off. Hopefully I can get, yeah, I think I will get 4 slices out of it, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's hard for you to see with my hand in the way. There you go. It's kind of looks like a little heart. It's close. It's close. The bottom of it is a little flat, but that's okay. I think it worked out good. I might try it with another strawberry and see if I can make it look a little bit better. We'll see. I'll play with it a little bit, and then I'll let you know if I end up using them or not. You don't know until you try though, right? And I had seen people do that before, and I thought, I'm gonna give that a try. So I'll let you know if we end up using it. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So just finished a Facebook Live where I made this delicious fruit salad. So if you guys want to know how to make that, you hop on and watch that Facebook Live. It is absolutely delicious. I forgot to take a bite on the Facebook Live, but I did take a bite after I got off, and it is absolutely outstanding. So, all right, but we are getting back to our strawberries and cream mousse, and so we are ready for the next step. So I have a bowl here. If you could feel it, it's ice cold. I've had it in the freezer. I want to keep it really nice and cold, and I'm going to add to that a cup of heavy whipping cream. And we're not going to add anything else to it. Just the heavy whipping cream is all that's going in there. Okay, and I'm going to turn this on, and we're going to whisk this. I've got my whisk on here. We're going to whisk it in this bowl until it comes to not stiff peak, but you want a pretty firm and stiff whipped cream. So we're going to turn that on, and I'm going to let it go. I'm going to turn it up, and when it's ready to go, I will hop back on, and I'll show you the next step. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So you can see here, I think you'll be able to see, you can see that whipped cream. That's a nice consistency. You don't want it too stiff, but you want it nice and fluffy. You just want a fluffy whipped cream. So what I'm gonna do now is take what we made earlier, the strawberry mixture, take that plastic wrap off of it. And I'm just gonna take a fork. Let's see, I'm gonna take this big fork and I'm just gonna kind of, you can see, let's see if I can go this way. See how that looks like it's kind of almost a gel. It almost gels. So I'm just gonna kind of use my fork and just mix that up in there. Kind of soften it up just a little bit. You don't want to throw it in that whipped cream and have it be all congealed and so thick and stiff. So we're just gonna mix that up just a little bit. I think you can see okay there. There we go. It smells good. Those strawberries smell good. All right, so I think that's probably good. So now we are going to take this mixture and we're gonna put it into the whipped cream with our whisk attachment still on there. Don't want to take that whisk off. And we're gonna put that mixture in there. See if you can see it coming. I think you can see okay. I'm gonna turn my bowl around so I can make sure I'm getting it all out. Again, handy dandy silicone spoon. Gotta love these things. All right, so we've got that. Now we're gonna turn this back on and we're gonna whip that together. I'm not gonna go as high as I was. I don't wanna totally whip it. I just want to kind of get it so that it's blended well together and you know, makes that nice mousse consistency. And I'm probably going to stop here in just a second and kind of clean the sides of the bowl off to make sure it's all getting in there. So we'll stop that for just a second. I'm going to scrape down the sides of the bowl. As you can see on here. See where there's a little bit of white there. So you just want to make sure those sides are nice and clean so that you get it all in there. Lock that, turn it back on. It's looking good. Looks like a mousse to me. Well, not a mousse, you know what I mean. You're not going to find it walking in Alaska, let's put it that way. So I'm going to turn that on just a little bit higher and whip that up a little bit. All right. I'm going to let that drop down in there, and then I'm going to take this off. And then I'm just going to use my spatula here, my silicone spatula, and just give it a good folding. Bring it over here so you guys can see it. So you can see the consistency of it. I think you can see that okay. So I'm just going to kind of give it a nice fold. All right, now, I've never done this before, but this is what they did in the video that I watched. So I'm going to give it a try. I have a cup here, and I've got a reusable piping bag. We're going to put that into that piping bag and cross our fingers and hope that it works. I think it will. And then we're going to pipe it into my little serving dishes. All right, let's see. I'll lift this up. All right. So here's my first one. I'm not sure. I'm gonna tip the camera down just a little bit so that you guys can see a little bit better. There we go. So there's my bowl, and I'm just gonna pipe that around in there like that. Isn't that cute? All right, let's do these. Nothing fancy. I just have some little vintage dessert dishes that I'm putting it in. Okay. I need a little bit more in my bag. All right, there's my fourth one. bubble. There we go. That one's not quite as full, but that's okay. Drop that down in there. I think I have a little bit in here I can scrape out. Okay. We got it. So I will show you what I did. I took my little strawberries I told you earlier. I was going to see if I could make it work. It took me 3 tries, but I did get the strawberries to work. And don't worry, no strawberries were harmed in the making of this video, because the ones that I didn't use that didn't turn out, I ate those. So what I'm going to do is take a little heart-shaped strawberry. Isn't that cute? And it's just going to kind of go on the top like that. I'll hold those up if you can't see them. I'll hold one up so you can see it when I get these on here. So the little strawberry heart shape goes on top. That way, if you're serving it, people will know, they'll know that it's strawberry. Although I think it's kind of obvious, but okay. And then I've got my little chocolate sprinkles, and I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of chocolate on top. All right, let me hold this up so you can see. There you go. There it is. And I have just enough in my bowl here. I'm gonna grab a spoon. Sorry. I have just enough on my spatula here that I'm gonna give it a quick little taste, because I don't want to serve it to my guests this evening if it's not any good, right? So let's see. It smells good. There it is. Okay, guys, that's pretty tasty. Not super sweet. Creamy. That's the duck egg. It's creamy. Taste the strawberry. Yeah, that strawberry is coming through. That's really good. And you know, I was thinking in between videos that next time I might try frozen bananas and strawberries. Mix it together and do like a strawberry banana mousse. I think that would be really good. And then we could put a little slice of banana on top of there also. So there you go. That's the dessert for tonight. And now I'm going to get started on that pot pie. I don't know if I'm going to have time to make a video for it, but because they're going to be here in a little bit. But I will take some pictures and show it to you later if I don't get the video made. Okay? So have a great day. Remember, Christ is the unseen guest at every dinner table, and he is the silent listener at every conversation. So make sure your words are edifying and building people up and loving on them and just being a light in this dark world. Sometimes it can be kind of dark, so just be a light in the world. And have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.